everyone. I am so sorry for the delay. I was trying to figure out how to get this equipment right with playing my intro, and I finally got it together. So welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chocolate Beauty 81. For those of you who are this is your first time visiting, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Let's get into the retreat, Chasing Dallas, the retreat. Before I even get into the retreat, I would like to say that this video is meant for entertainment purposes. So we are only here to laugh, to kiki, to have a good time, to talk about certain things that's going on during the episode. It is not to bash or try to take anyone down. We are just talking about entertainment, for entertainment purposes. Anyway, so let's get into this retreat. I don't even know where to start with this whole train wreck we call Eric James. I don't understand why he is so angry. First of all, the episode opens up where they left off, having a discussion about everything that Eric James has ever said about the cast members. So everybody's asking him, why did he say this? Especially Dior. Dior is talking to him talking about his good friend Robert and how it was problematic for him. And Eric James was said that it was brought up the night before, and Dior was like, I didn't bring it up because I had too much to drink and I didn't want to, take my anger out on you or misinterpret what you say, because he has a tendency to to say things the wrong way that, he doesn't necessarily mean. So instead of Eric James answering Dior's questions about why he's talking about people, number one, on the cast, and number two, why is he talking about his friend who was supposed to be a part of the cast but wasn't there? Instead of him directly answering Dior's questions, he turns around and takes out his anger out on Reese. That whole scene reminded me of like when I was back in high school or even elementary. You know how somebody is a bully and they're antagonizing somebody and everybody is laughing in the crowd because they're clowning the person, because the bully is clowning the person. And instead of the person who is being taunted turns around and punches one of the people that were laughing instead of fighting the instigator. That's what that kind of remind me of. It was just like he just took all his anger and misplaced it towards Reese. It was like, where did all this come from? Why are you attacking Reese? And why are you dodging the questions? You're deflecting. Taking out your anger out on Reese, telling him that he's not a good friend, but you already chewed his back out, telling people that he wasn't a good friend anyway. So I don't understand your whole purpose. Everybody was saying, oh, don't walk away, Portia. I think I seen it in the comments, and maybe somebody even said it in the scenes. Eric does not give me Portia Williams vibe. He gives me Joseline type of vibes. Joseline Hernandez, the Puerto Rican princess. That's the kind of vibes that he gives me. He gives me her during her time on Love and Hip Hop, because it was just like, where is all this anger coming from? I mean, like, it just made me think, for like a quick second, could there be something that's going on that we don't know in between him and Reese that Reese is not saying, but Eric has the tea on what was said about him? Or is he just an angry individual, and the first person he's going to take out his anger on is Reese, because that's where people tend to target their anger on this franchise. If you have been watching from day one, it's like everybody turns against Reese, and it's not cool. So anyway, instead of answering Dior's question, he goes and storms off and is yelling at Reese at the same time. Trey Howard decides to go follow him to talk to him and say, hey, like, listen, you can't be this messy. You have to watch what you say and who you say it around, because at the end of the day, you're going to be held responsible for anything that you say. And you're going to be held accountable for what, if you're talking about someone who is loved and liked that's not in the room. And that's what happened in between you and in the situation with Robert. You had no idea, like I said in my last video, that you didn't know you were in the enemy's camp. So you have to be careful about your surroundings. But it's like when Trey Howard went to talk to him, he was completely irrational. Completely irrational. And it was just like, that's why I said what I said about maybe there might be some underlying issues that we don't know about, but Eric ain't telling us. And Reese is trying to find out, like, what happened? Like, what's the problem? So instead of listening to what Trey Howard had to say, Eric kept talking about, Reese and who he is and why doesn't he have any friends? And this is why, people stay away from him and cut him off, and he's just not a good friend. So it was like talking to a wall. So Trey Howard left the scene and went back to where they were having brunch outside and told Reese that he is blaming him for everything that went on. And I lied to you not. While the live video was going on, I typed in that Eric James was being delusional. And as soon as I wrote that in the chat, that's exactly what Reese said, that he's being delusional. It's like, where is this coming from? Where's all this hate coming from? Where's all this anger and resentment coming from? And I mean, you do a lot of reads in your confessional, but let's be honest, like your reads comes across like you memorized it right there on the spot and had to say it immediately. Your reads are not even on point. Like, it's not even natural. It just seems very unnatural. And the fact that you continue to read people and you continue to talk bad about people, and then you just slam and criticize and just belittle and derate Reese for no apparent reason. Why are you so angry, Eric? I would honestly like to have a conversation with you, Eric James, because I want to know, as a fan, why you are as angry as you are. It can't be just that Reese didn't show up to your pop-up shop. Nobody acts like that towards somebody that's their friend. That they don't take out their anger out on a person like that. And if that's the case where you're just taking out your anger out on VCG because he didn't show up to your pop-up shop and you don't think he's a good friend, you are a grown toddler. That's exactly what you are. You are a grown toddler. If your only defense is to use your words and to use your hands, then use your words to berate. When I say use your words, you use your words to berate, and then you threaten people with your hands. I don't know if you have a reputation of just beating people up. Maybe you do, but at the end of the day, you can't resolve issues with your fists. It's not always the best solution, especially you're an adult. Come on, like, you're a business owner, you're an adult. There's no need for all of this energy to give for something so minor. I mean, there was an issue on why he didn't come to your event, but there's no reason why you're taking out your anger out on Dior and taking out your anger out on all these people that's there. It doesn't make any sense. You got all these things to say about people, and it's just like, why do you have these point of views of these people? Like, why do you think like this? You can't, first of all, you can't say anything about Dior because Dior didn't really give much on chasing dollars besides the fact that he's a father and he's very protective of his children. And what can you really say about that? Reese, I just think that there's something else going on that the fans don't know and that we're not seeing. There's a lot of things that happens behind the scenes, and there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes right now. I mean, a lot. I thought that, despite the fact that there were so many issues with Eric James that Trey Howard and Dre Sumber were on good grounds. They made up. It seemed like they could get past whatever they can get past. And I know that Dre Sumber is somebody who is reasonable when it comes to conversation. He can be, because that whole back and forth that he had with Trey Howard during this episode shows that he is a reasonable person. So everything that's going on outside of the show, which I hope they do a reunion, because it's something that needs to be discussed on why Trey Howard, and more than likely it will be on Chasing Dallas, because I know that both of them are going to be on Chasing Dallas. So this is probably going to spill over into that storyline for that show. So I don't even know what's going on. It was just too much going on with Eric James. First of all, I was over it with the fake New York inner cry. Do y'all remember when New York was trying to cry and somebody said that she didn't have any tears and she said there was an inner cry? That's basically pretty much what Eric James did when he was talking to Resilient Titan. And I'm so glad that Resilient was called a spade, because it was just like, where is all of this coming from? It looks like you have some type of issues that you need to sit in somebody's chair and talk about it. And I don't know, like if you have like attachment issues, or I don't know. It was just weird. The conversation between you and Resilient was just weird. You tried to cry, you didn't cry, you couldn't cry. It was like, it was. That's how I felt like when I was looking at the screen of you trying to fake a cry. You couldn't even fake cry. So it's just, I don't know. You seem very petty and childish, and you just have no reason on why you're acting the way that you're acting. Maybe it's for the fame. Maybe you're doing it for the show. But baby, you're doing too much right now. You're doing too much right now, and you're giving very much so I need therapy type of vibes. And you are on the retreat. That's the whole purpose of being on the retreat, is to have therapy. So anyway, let me look at my notes, child. Let me get off of Eric James. I'm going to try to. Hold on. Goodness, there is nothing else really to really discuss on this episode, besides the fact that Resilient was trying to do his part and really do his job of what he came to do, was to bring unity, understanding, and bring trust within the group. And Eric James is just somebody who disrupts the whole entire process. I mean, I thought for a fact it was going to be Dre Sumber. I thought that Dre Sumber was going to be the problematic one based upon his past histories on different shows. And it's refreshing to see that he's not. But I mean, Eric James' behavior is just irrational, erratic, all over the place. He needs Jesus. He needs love. He needs a hug. He needs something. He needs Holy Ghost water. He needs chicken. He needs to go somewhere. Like, he needs to do something. I'm just throwing anything out there that he could possibly need for him to get better, because living in this way and being angry at the world is not a healthy way to live. It's not a very comfortable mental space. Like, where I wonder how your family is like viewing this on television, or like your real friends outside of the show. If you actually even have real friends on the show, I wonder how they're responding to this, because this is so abnormal. And I went onto your page because I went onto your Instagram page because somebody was talking about you in the video, talking about your business. And when I went onto your Instagram page, it's just like the complete opposite of what you're showing on camera. It's like your stuff is very professional. You seem very professional. Your commercials seem clean. Everything looks really nice. It looks really high class. And like right now, you're giving me Woody Lee from North 52nd Street, that I will fight you, and I'm from the projects, and I will lay my hands on you. And it's just like, this is supposed to be a platform where you talk about your business and grow. So I don't understand where, like, how this is going to help your business. Where do you plan on going after this? Because you doing this and ruining the relationship in between you and the executive producer. And I mean, like, I can gather that people who are on production is probably uncomfortable filming with you because of your hostility. And they don't know where your hostility is coming from. Unless if anybody can come onto my platform and tell me what the issue is with Eric James and why he is the way that he is and why he's so angry at Reese G and why he seems angry at the whole entire world. I think that he came onto the scene thinking that he can bring a certain type of element to the show, maybe be like the little messy queen, just be messy a little, and then it wouldn't be an issue, but it just turned completely left. Because we all know that reality shows follow a storyline, and it's like he just completely went off the reservation when it comes to what he was supposed to do and what he was supposed to bring onto the franchise. I mean, I've heard, allegations of him talking about Reese's mother, saying these horrible things about different people on the show. And I mean, like, I do agree with Eric James with saying that I agree with with Robert being a different type of nailist or nail technician, being as though that he's not, he's black, he has a grill, he seems hood, but it was just like he just kept he just dug himself into a deeper hole where he continued to talk about Robert like he knew him. I mean, it is 2021. People like Robert are meant to be in spaces like this. He's meant to shine in places like this. So you talking about him only makes him more appealing. And I'm actually very excited to watch him on Chasing Dallas. And I've been hearing some wonderful things about him behind the scenes, about who he is and what he is bringing to Chasing Dallas. So I'm excited to see that. But Eric James, I need you to say exactly what happened. Like, do you have underlying issues on why you're being so angry and so volatile towards the cast, and why you think that continuing to bash and to shade everybody on the cast is going to help your situation or going to help get you to a place of understanding? And one more thing. That whole game where they play, where they take their mouth and they gave them the shoe to like talk about, like, what they may want that person to know about them. The fact that Eric James did not give his shoe, he didn't give his shoe to anybody. He said, I give this shoe to myself because blah, 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 blah. It's like, sir, do you want to be heard? Are you not heard in real life? Do people not really hear your voice or make you valid in real life, or you need validation for people to see who you are? It's like kind of odd. But anyway, I am excited for this next episode. And the one complaint I do have about this episode, though, Reese, it was too short. I was so upset when I saw the credits going up. I'm like, wait a second, like, it's over, it's done. But besides that, it was a great episode as far as entertaining us. I mean, like, I may say what I say about Eric James, about his behavior, about, his anger. his misplaced anger and everything else I say, the show is still entertaining. So thank you for watching my latest recap on The Retreat. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Ciao.